Hi everyone. Okay, so it's night number 2, and I worked a full day. I got up at 4:30. Actually, I got up at 4. Got ready about 4:30. Went into work. Left about 3. So it was a good, pretty good long day. Um, I did a live uh, thing on Facebook on my way home. So it was like kind of like a decompression. It was like just to get my mind off of like my day job and like more into a game plan for the evening. It kind of helped to like really talk about it, just to like decompress in the right direction, I think is what I said. It keeps me from basically like decompressing and then getting comfortable and then things don't get done. So I left work with the mindset of getting shit done. So I got home. I created a really brief list of what it is that I wanted to talk about tonight. Um, so let's just get into it. So I'm going to introduce my first project. I do a lot of promotion and art and design work for my husband's company. He is owner of Fair Lady Customs, so it's auto body and paint shop here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I've created his logo for him. I've done a lot of print pieces, which end up on t-shirts and marketing materials. My husband's also, well, once was previously a lifelong time ago, a graphic designer of his own. So we have a very creative household. So I learned a lot from him, even though I have an illustration background in terms of design. So I have design work and I have illustration work, and my styles don't really seem to overlap. Sorry, I've got my baby. So yeah, and this is Miles. Hi, Miles. So anyway, so he could do for himself, but I always ask to take on some of the projects, just because he's busy running a company. It keeps me, warm in terms of actually creating things that are not for my day job. He has an event coming up in May, which is called Z Days. It's a yearly event that every car enthusiast for Nissans, Datsuns, Infinitis go collectively to. So there's several hundred people. My husband is a sponsor of the event, so it's a really great promotion and marketing opportunity for him to really push business. But yeah, so long story short, I usually run that sponsorship. I won't be attending this year, so unfortunately I won't be able to document that portion. But we do several of their events, so I will definitely make sure to get that on my feed. But anyway, back to the project. So this is technically the first project that I'm going to be introducing. So for my husband, well, I'll just say FC, which is Fair Lady Customs. He's a sponsorship at Z Days 2018. They have a logo. We have a logo. Both are illustrated. Last year, I did a really fun collaborative, like combined logo, which I'll post to my Instagram, and I'll also put on the Facebook page of past things that I've done for this event and for my husband, so you can see kind of like the aesthetic that I've been running with. But for this project, he needs, so in terms of creative brief, he needs a t-shirt design. It's a white heat transfer on a black shirt. Our color scheme is like honestly very simple. It's black, white, and gray. So underneath those confines, I'm able to create. I always think it's best to give yourself a lot of, restrictions. Even if a client's like, hey, do what you want, create restrictions for yourself. It's easier to be creative within a box, because sometimes I find when possibilities are endless, it can be a little overwhelming. You don't know where to start, you second guess. Really, it's nice to have a box to play within. And within any confines, there's like a million different combinations, so I don't feel like that limits me at all. So in terms of this being my husband's business, he has currently been in business for 2 years, so I would still consider him a startup. So we don't have a production company. So when it comes to design, I source shirts, I have heat transfer sheets made up, and I spend, 72 hours over a weekend, and I hand press all the shirts, I package them, I handwrite all the labels. All of this I'll be documenting. I'll also include how I run numbers, any of the logistics that I've gathered over the last 2 years, last couple shows we've done, what our overhead is, what sort of profit we can turn, which is usually very minimal because for what it is that we do, our purpose is not necessarily to make money, because we're not really in a t-shirt business. It's more just getting our name and our logo in people's hands. So honestly, if I can break even at the end of a show, then it's just a labor of love at that point. So anyway, so back to the project. The main objective, just like we did last year, which got a really great response, we ended up selling out of all of our shirts, so I did end up actually making a bit of profit. People really liked the combined logos, because our logo as it stands is pretty dynamic, and the Z-Days logo is very iconic. So this year I'm going to also try to merge the two, but I obviously can't do it in the same way. I'm probably going to take a little bit more of an illustrative approach than I have in the past, just because I feel like we need to diversify our creative aesthetic just a little bit, just because everything is so graphic and so hard. I do think that it would be nice to create something just a little bit more whimsical, just a little bit of character, but yeah, so we have a very short deadline. The event is May 16th. So obviously everything will need to be done the week before. It takes about a week to get the transfers in, takes about 3 days to press the several hundred shirts, package and label, and then of course the design process itself. So I will need to work backwards. I'll be looking at my calendar then within the next day or two and setting a project timeline for myself, and of course all of that will be documented and processed, and yeah, so this is just introduction to the project, let you guys know it's coming up. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask. Otherwise, stay tuned and check out Facebook and Instagram for photos and documents. So yeah, all right, thanks guys.